back to Making Finances Sexy. It is me, Rose Short, aka the Red Queen. Come down the rabbit hole with me. I am a realtor here in the Phoenix Valley, as well as CEO of Chronica Luxury and a financial consultant. It is my mission to help you build multiple income streams, file your boss, live your dream lifestyle, and say to hell with convention. And joining me today is the wonderful and talented Miss Jessica Lay.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? I'm Jessica Lay, your Rent Rave owned realtor and certified instructor with 101 Financial. My mission is to help you transition from renting to home ownership, no matter your situation. I'm ready to be your personal finance coach and first-time home buyer specialist.
What? Yes, and today we want to talk about organic traffic with social media and, more importantly, how to choose the right platform for you. So obviously we know there's a lot of different social media platforms out there. There's of course TikTok, Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, a couple of the ones that I don't really use, Snapchat, Reddit,
Threads.
yeah, X. Anyways, there's a
Yeah.
lot of platforms out there, right?
Yeah, I remember when it used to just be like Facebook,
I remember when it
now.
was just MySpace.
Yeah. I remember MySpace too. That was fun.
That was fun. So how do you choose what platform is right for you? Well, there's a couple different ways. First and foremost is, how do you consume and create content, right? So if you are a really good copywriter and you love to sit down and write really long Facebook posts and things like that, then Facebook and Instagram are probably going to be your best bet, because those two platforms tend to favor the longer posts. And then of course, X or Threads would be great as a way to shorten those and send those out. And then of course, blogging would also be a good route to go. So if you're into writing, we've already got multiple options for you, right? But what if you're into, let's say, carousel creation, which is the multi-photo and copywriting format? Well, that's probably gonna be most useful for Instagram, right? Because Instagram does the carousels. Facebook does them a little bit, but not nearly as well as Instagram. And then, of course, if you're going for video, TikTok is still the king. They started with video. They're starting to push, photo posts and stuff like that a little bit more. But they are definitely the king of video when it comes to marketing and reaching your audience organically.
Nice. Yeah, I just feel like when you're getting started, maybe try a couple different platforms and see like how they make you feel, or like understand like your target audience, like who you're trying to reach and things like that. I and like just play around with them. It's fun to like try Instagram or Snapchat or TikTok or whatever. Just trying different platforms and see which ones you really like to use.
Yeah, your audience is a big one, right? You got to know who you're talking to, who your ideal client is, and how do they consume data. Now, obviously, you want to have a broad enough spectrum of that you can reach more people. And that's one of the reasons we always recommend, if you've got a digital download book, make it available in an audio format as well, and maybe even in a video format, because people consume data differently. So bear that in mind when you're choosing your platform. But, let's say you want to start with creative cooking ideas or creative gardening ideas. We already know the best place to start for that is Pinterest, because that's kind of how Pinterest started, right? And that's kind of a very specific demographic you're trying to reach as well. If what you have is tailored more toward, first time college students or things like that, or, students just graduating, going to college, you're probably going to want to focus on Snapchat or TikTok or something that demographic falls into a little bit more. So it does take some research, as any business idea should. But like you said too, it depends on what you're comfortable using. So maybe you just don't like TikTok's video editor. Maybe you like Instagram's more. And so you do Instagram and then download it through SnapTik and put it on TikTok, or use Repurpose, or, just build it out in not Canva, I'm sorry, CapCut, and post it that way. It just kind of depends.
Yeah, and there's like it's mainly free, right? All these platforms. So start with the free stuff. I know you can purchase add-ons or running ads and things like that, but in my opinion, it's better to start free and build your following before you start paying for the extras in these apps.
Absolutely, yeah. And then of course, analyze your data, right? So no matter what platform you're using, they all have some sort of analytics. Pinterest has them. They all also have their own versions of kind of marketing webinars and like helpful blog posts and things if you're just starting out. So be sure to analyze the data and just see, maybe what you're making for Pinterest isn't really hitting on Pinterest, but weirdly it's hitting on TikTok. Like look into that and figure out what's going on and see if you can replicate it across the other platforms, or try to switch it up a little bit on Pinterest and see if it changes your Pinterest or TikTok algorithm in any kind of way. So often people are told, pick one platform and get really good at one platform, which I understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, we've seen it over and over again where marketers make one simple mistake and their TikTok is banned, right? And it's not even new marketers, it's marketers who've been in the game for 3 or 4 years. One of them I know of had about 3 million followers, and TikTok was just like, yeah, no, community guidelines violation, and shut him down. So you want to make sure that you have other streams, other platforms that you're using, but that doesn't mean that you can't have a primary one.
Yeah, I think diversifying your marketing approaches is pretty important because somebody that has TikTok might not have Instagram or Facebook, or somebody that has Facebook doesn't have Instagram and things like that. So you can really broaden your reach, and that's the goal, right? Is to grow our business. So why not get more people in front of your content?
Yeah, exactly. I know it was a learning curve for me because I was so anti-smartphone and anti-social media and everything else. I had a Facebook and that was it. And so when I started going into the rabbit hole of digital marketing and affiliate marketing and content marketing, I was like, oh, God, I have to start actual social media profiles. I have to actually be social on these profiles. Like, there's a lot more work with social media than a lot of people realize, especially when they're starting out. But again, there's ways to make it easier, right? So use CapCut to edit your videos and then just change the text or put your captions in the app itself. Notes is a really good one. You can copy and paste your copyright. So if you don't want to go through and type out the same description on every single platform, you can just copy and paste it and then change the hashtags appropriately. If you have link to Windows, if you have an Android phone, that's a lifesaver. At least it has been for me, because I'm really good at typing long form on a keyboard and I am trash at typing long form on a touchscreen. So often I'll type it out on my computer and then copy it, and then I'll auto copies to my clipboard on my phone, and then I can paste it that way. So there are ways to make it easier. It's just you have to figure out what tools you have and use them accordingly.
Yeah. Something I need to get better at, I guess, is staying updated on the platform trends and changes. I always get emails, from Medium where I write my blogs, or Instagram saying changes or whatever. I don't even read them, but I think it would be beneficial to stay up to date with what's going on and stuff like that. Also, I do need to work on tracking better how each of my platforms are doing, and just really analyze it all better.
Yeah. I think we all do. I think that's where a lot of people struggle is, especially if you're a solopreneur, like you're already putting time and energy into researching the platforms, and then you're putting time and energy into scripting out, filming and editing your content. And then you're putting energy in the copyright. And so for a lot of creators, by the time they're done, it's just like, okay, schedule this out and be done with it. And then, suddenly there's one that does really well. And it's like, okay, cool. Like what did you do differently? And they're like, I have no idea. And it's like, okay, well, go back and look at, what day did you post it? What time of day was it? Like, look at the post from the previous week and see if any of them triggered around that point too. So I totally get it from a, like, my brain is taxed perspective. But that's where accountability buddies can come in. That's where, proper time management, scheduling in, all those kind of things that we've talked about in previous episodes really comes into play.
Totally.
So, um, and then as far as staying up on the trends, like I'm like you, if I get the email and the email is not formatted properly, I don't read it at all. As far as Instagram is concerned, Brock Johnson is a fabulous profile to follow. He's constantly doing updates about Instagram updates. He's actually like in person talked with people that work at Meta to get insights on what's coming up and the trends and whatnot. So check him out if you get a chance. I don't know any good TikTok ones that stay up to date on TikTok because TikTok is just not my jam.
I love TikTok, but I'm not keeping up with the trend.
Fair enough, fair enough. I mean, it's difficult, right? It's a lot of information. And again, if you're utilizing all of it, like I didn't even mention YouTube. I don't know why, like a lot of you are probably watching this on YouTube right now and it didn't even go into my brain. So like, which just shows you how easy it is for us to get, like lost in the trap and overloaded. But everyone has little bits of tweaks here and there. And that's why it's super, super important that yes, you can repurpose your content and you can repurpose it pretty easily, but make sure that your SEO, your hashtags, your keywords, your audio even is something that can cross post. I stopped cross posting from my Instagram to my Pinterest because my pins kept getting muted. And it wasn't like a strike against me. I guess my account's not in trouble or anything like that, but it was like 5 or 6 emails a day of like, oh, hey, sorry, we muted this pin. Oh, hey, we muted this pin. Oh, hey, we muted this pin. And I was like, cool, original audio only.
Yeah, that's been happening when I use Repurpose and post TikTok to Pinterest. It's
Yep.
been muting me, but the content's still there.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
that's where,
cool.
using captions comes in handy.
And I love YouTube's VidIQ. That's
Yes.
one I enjoy to look at and see like the graphs, and it makes it so easy to analyze how your videos are doing on there. In my opinion, like it's the easiest
Yeah.
one to
Well,
analyze.
and it gives you recommendations as you're typing your description and your title and everything else. And yeah, vidIQ, even in the free version, is amazing. So definitely recommend checking that out. And we'll put links to everything we talk about in the description on this too. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Like, just figure out what content is easy for you to make. Start with that. And then you can go from there. So like for me, it's video, but I've been working a lot on taking my video, getting the transcription off of YouTube and making it into a blog post, which you can do pretty easily. Yeah, I know it's gonna trigger some people, but you can use AI, you can use Monica or ChatGPT. It's still your original work. You're just maybe having them format it in a more, flowy, bloggy way than a video way. I would say if you do that, just go ahead and put a note at the end that says, hey, just FYI, like I did use, AI to help me format this or whatever, because I know they're starting to crack down a little bit on that, especially on Medium. Um, there was actually a a war on AI going on right before I jumped on this call that I was kind of drug into, and I was like, like it's a tool. Like that's what it's like anything else, you got to use it right. But I know it triggers some people, so
Yeah, just putting the disclaimers is smart. I put disclaimers on all my blog posts because I love writing, and it's all my writing. It's just AI definitely helps clean it up a
yeah,
bit, and yeah, sometimes make it sound more entertaining than the way I wrote it,
yeah.
and
Well,
more
especially if you're
engaging.
tired, right? Like if you've been
Yeah.
working on it for a while and you're just tired, like putting jokes in there too, just doesn't
Yeah.
doesn't vibe. But
And make sure you guys are making videos and making content of things you like. Like, don't just jump into it because of like the monetary value. You can, because you can get really successful in this space, but it's important to work and do things that we like.
yeah, be authentic. That's pretty much it, guys. That is how you choose your ideal platform to start with and then branch out. Next week, Jess is going to talk to us a little bit more about homeownership, I believe.
Yes, rent or own, evaluating the options to find your ideal home.
Yes, love it.